Chela. For those of you who do not know me, I teach here at Chela Yoga. Right now I am actually in the Zen Collective, which is inside of Chela Yoga. So I'm bringing you some content today, a yoga class that I teach Monday nights here at Chela. It is a gentle restorative yin, so just a combination sort of all three. I'm going to bring you sort of a gentle class this afternoon, and I think we'll get started. So props that you may like, because if you're like me, the more props, the better. Some that I like, a yoga strap, a yoga blanket, or just any blanket, and then a big bolster. Things that you can use, any blanket around the house. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a couch cushion. That can also be a really good sort of supportive prop to use. So to get started, we're gonna start pretty basic, and we're gonna use our blanket. So this is just a general fold of the blanket. You can just kind of fold it in half, and then you can use it to sit on during your practice. So you can bring it underneath the sit bones and allow yourself to elevate the hips a little. And then I invite you to just bring yourself to any comfortable seated position. So if easy pose or Sukhasana with the legs crossed feels comfortable, bring that in. If it doesn't, you can have the legs in butterfly. The legs can be out wide or out long. We're gonna take a few moments to just drop in. And what I mean by dropping in is we're just gonna start to connect. Connect to our most important part, which is our breath. So take a few moments here, finding a quiet space. Maybe the eyes are closed, or maybe there's a soft gaze off the tip of the nose. And start to become aware of your breath. So you're just noticing how the inhale is moving in. You're noticing how the exhale is moving out. And right now we're not changing anything, we're just allowing the breath to move. Feeling the belly rise and fall as we inhale and exhale. Maybe feeling any lift, any softening as the exhale leaves. And then noticing. So you're not changing anything, you're just noticing what your breath is naturally doing. Are you pausing at the top of the inhale? Are you pausing at the bottom of the exhale? Or is there a more continuous flow in and out? More of an oval breath where you're just cycling through. So take a few moments here to just become aware of that breath, and whatever it is for you. However it's moving, you're just taking data on what it is. Take about 5 more cycles of breath where you're just noticing and you're not making any adjustments. You're just allowing the breath to be. As you draw your next inhale in, I invite you to bring it in through the nose. So as you start to pull the inhale in, really expanding through the belly. Fill the lungs. And then as you exhale, press that exhale out of the nose, really emptying the lungs here, softening in. Inhale through the nose, drawing it in, filling the lungs. Maybe you bring some imagery in here, filling the cup, and then emptying it out. Maybe you bring the hands to the belly, and you can feel as you inhale, and then feel as you exhale. Maybe you need a little stronger connection. One hand is on the belly, one hand is on the heart. And start to move into that nasal breathing, allowing the breath to naturally start to balance itself out. We'll take about 3 more full cycles of breath, really connecting to breath here. then when you feel ready, keeping that inhale and exhale in and out of the nose if it's available. If you feel like that's a little bit overwhelming or it doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring the exhale out of the nose or out of the mouth. Sometimes that will often allow a little more release. So you find the breath that you find most comfortable. And then here we're going to start to move from the crown of the head down towards the root. The root is the connection between your sits bones and the earth. So you're feeling that connection all the way from the base up through the crown of the head. So we'll start by moving into the hips. So we'll start by making circles with the hips. This could be fast or slow. You can find if you want to pause at one spot, giving a little extra attention. The arms or the hands can rest on the knees, or they can sort of float around with the body. It just depends on what's comfortable for you. This is your practice, and I'll say this a lot during this class, that it's really important that you honor your practice and how you feel. Give you lots of suggestions, and if you've taken my class in real life, you know that I talk a lot, so this will be no exception. You'll just want to honor anything that your body's asking. So if you notice, as you're starting to move in these circles, how does it feel? How do the hips feel? How does one side feel opposed to the other? Following your breath, the next time your inhale comes in or you're upright, switch to the opposite direction, bringing it around. Again, noticing sensations that you're feeling through the body, how this feels. Noticing if you need that little bit of a pause. One more time around, and then next time you find yourself upright, bringing yourself back through center. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, soften the hands, grounding or receiving, palms face up. Take 2 cycles of breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale, draw that inhale in through the nose, fill the belly. Exhale, let it go. Out of the mouth. Your next inhale draws the arms up and overhead. So fill the lungs as you reach the arms up and overhead. If it's available, gaze lifts. And then we'll take that right hand outside of the right hip, reaching over with the left arm for a side body bend. So as we come into that side body bend, that right palm really stays rooted in, keeping your left hip grounded. Grounded by, what I mean by that is keeping it connected to the earth, so you can feel the stretch through the side body, reaching up and over. Gaze can be up towards the left fingertips, down towards the right, whatever serves on your neck. And then soften that right shoulder away from the ear. And allow length. Feeling that stretch through the side body. If you feel you want a little movement, maybe rotate the wrist. Maybe draw the arm forward, and then you draw the arm back. Maybe staying in stillness is what your body needs today. Just linger here. Your inhale slowly draws you through center. Reach arms up and overhead as you inhale, fill the lungs. And then as you exhale, plant that left palm outside of the left hip, reaching the right arm up and over. So set yourself up on this side. Really rooting through that left palm, that left side. Softening that left shoulder, reaching right arm up and over. Gaze goes where it's comfortable. Keeping that awareness to your breath. As you're in these poses, as you come into these asanas where you are feeling that you're moving in a little different direction than seated, notice how your breath changes. Movement, if that serves you. And then when you're ready, the inhale draws you back through center. Reach arms up and overhead. And then exhale, draw the arms into cactus. So bending into the elbows, shift the shoulder blades back, open up through the heart space. Fingers can be wide, gaze can be lifted. Can be straight ahead if that feels better on the neck. Take 2 cleansing breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. When you're ready, draw the inhale in. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arms out to T. Inhale, draw the arms up and overhead. Let the palms meet. And then as you exhale, draw hands through heart center. Take a cycle of breath here. drop the hands to the knees, palms face down if that feels okay. And we'll start to move through some seated cat-cow. Now if you're in Sukhasana or easy pose where the legs are crossed and you'd like to switch, you can bring the hands back behind you to release the hips. Then you can just bring the legs out. If you need to rotate the ankles a little, maybe rock a little from side to side, and then switching. So if the right foot was in close, maybe you bring it out, bringing the left in, and just switching the way that the seat was. So just depending on what's most comfortable for you. Rooting back in, dropping the hands to the knees, allowing that connection. And then from here, we'll start to bring in seated cat-cow. So breath and movement. Again, you're gonna move as fast or as slow as your breath is guiding you. Inhale, draws the gaze up towards the ceiling. Open up through the heart, shift the shoulder blades back towards each other. As you exhale, round in, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Inhale allows that opening, drawing open the heart. Exhale, bring it in. So your breath, your movement, let's move through 3 full cycles. The exhale draws you in, rounding in, inhale opens through the heart, gaze lifts through the throat. Inhale, and then as you exhale, one more full round, drawing the inhale in, allowing the exhale to leave. Bringing yourself back through center. From here, we're going to find that release through the hips. So hands come back behind you, and then allow the legs to come out long. Here we'll bring in some windshield wiper movement. So rocking from side to side. You can bring feet towards the width of the mat. That'll bring you a little bit bigger movement through the hips if that's available. And then from here, we're gonna find our way to butterfly. So coming into butterfly, you have a lot of options here. So you can stay seated on that blanket. That again helps to elevate the hips and that might feel comfortable. If it feels like a lot on the knees here, I don't have them with me, but blocks are really nice. It's surprising I don't have a prop. Blocks would be really nice under the knees. Or you can take your blanket and you can roll it up a couple times. And then that blanket can go underneath the knees, so 2 blankets, and that can help to take off some pressure off of the knees. So just depending on where your sensation level is, if you don't have props available, bring the feet further away from the body, making more of a diamond shape with the hips. If none of this is available to you, because this is too much, you just allow the legs to come out wide. So finding the space that's comfortable to you, we're gonna start with an upper body stretch. So as close as the heels are in, you'll start to maybe rock a little just to root in. And then allow your hands maybe to come to the ankles or around the feet, just depending on, again, your comfort level. That's really what's most important. So finding that bind, taking a hold, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, draw the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, tuck the chin in towards the chest. So we're keeping the spine long. We're staying lifted. We're not folding yet. So you're keeping that long spine, those shoulders dropping away. And then the chin is tucked in towards the chest. So feeling this through the upper body, through the shoulders, the neck. More cycles of breath. Notice how your breath is changing, if it is. As you have a little bit of constriction, as you're bringing chin towards the chest. If this feels good, you'll stay right here for a few more cycles of breath. If you find that your body wants a little bit more, let the inhale draw the gaze up, and then leading with the heart, you'll start to fold forward. Once you find your edge, that's where your body naturally stops, then you'll start to round in, tucking the chin in towards the chest. So as we fold forward, it's gonna be a little bit more intense on the hips, a little bit stronger of a hip opener. So really mindful of how this feels, and if you need to soften by coming back up, this is your practice. So just honoring whatever your body is asking of you. And as you're folding forward, if that's where you choose to be, just take notice of the breath. Let it be strong. Pulling in and out through the nose if that's available. If you need those cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, allow those to move. We'll take 2 more full cycles of breath. Inhale, slowly brings you all the way back up. Hands come behind for that release. Here we're gonna come into Janusarsasana or half butterfly. So depending on what you want. Half butterfly, you're gonna let that left foot hover sort of at the midline of the mat, and you extend the right leg out. If you want Janusarsasana, you bring the sole of that left foot all the way into the upper part of the right thigh. So here's a great space to use your strap. Prop number one, if you don't have a strap, a scarf or any type of kind of long piece of fabric or something could work really well. A tie, if you have a tie laying around. Those are some things that you can use for a prop. So lengthening through here, we'll inhale to draw the arms up and overhead. Turning the torso towards the right, we'll exhale to fold over that right leg. So you can take the bind by holding to the foot. You can rest the hands on the top of the calf. You can bring the hands to either side of the leg, or you can use your strap. Bringing it around the foot, and then taking hands to hold. Allow your gaze to fall towards your right knee as you fold over. Keeping that breath strong. One more full cycle of breath. The inhale will draw you up overhead, your arms up overhead. And then we're gonna come into a spinal twist. So we'll take that right palm, place it on the left knee, bring the left hand back behind the body. Allow the inhale to lengthen, straightening through the spine, and then the exhale to start to twist you. So you're gonna twist over towards the left, but you're twisting through the midline, through the torso. So you're allowing the gaze to just go over towards the left. We're having activation, or we're activating through that right foot to protect the knee. So the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And as you come into your twist, maybe this is the first twist that you've come into, but I promise you will not be the last. If you've taken my classes, you know the twists are my favorite place to be. So allowing yourself to just twist. So the gaze may be just over that right, over towards the left. If it's available and it feels okay on the neck, you can take your gaze all the way over the left shoulder. But you want to be really mindful of how that feels and if it feels okay. Our necks can hold a lot of tightness and tension. There can also be injury there. So you just want to find where you're most comfortable. We'll take one more full breath here. Inhale draws you back through center, and then we're going to rotate the wrists in one direction, allowing them to fall back behind us so we can release the hips. As we release, we'll extend that left leg out, and then take a few moments here to just rock the knees from side to side. And then we'll come back into that butterfly, just so you can set yourself up for the next side. So as we move to the other side. So if you'd like, when you're ready, we'll extend that left foot out to the side. And then option is to keep the right foot hovering at the midline, or to draw the foot in. Taking a breath here. Inhale, draws the arms up and overhead, and then turning the torso towards the left. We'll exhale to fold over. Option again is your strap. Your strap is that extension of the limbs, allowing you to have some control over how much you're folding and where it feels comfortable. Allow your gaze to fall to the knee if that's available. One more full cycle of breath. Release the bind. Inhale to draw the arms up and overhead, fill the lungs. And then as you exhale, we're coming into that spinal twist. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the body. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist. Maybe the gaze is just gently over towards the right. Maybe you're taking the gaze over the right shoulder. We're having that flex, or we're engaging through the left foot. One more full cycle of breath. Inhale draws you back through center, and then rotating the wrists in another direction if you remember. Bringing the hands down or alongside the body so you can release the hips. We'll bring both legs out again for those windshield wiper movements. And then from here, we'll bring ourselves to hands and knees. So we're gonna come into tabletop. So you can roll up and over, whatever way is most comfortable to you. And then the blanket can come in handy here for allowing it to come across the mat. That's gonna bring a little bit more comfort under the knees. So as you come into your tabletop, wrists can be underneath the shoulders. The knees can be underneath the hips. That doesn't feel good on the wrist. You can always bring the hands forward a little bit, or you can press into the thumb and the first finger, really gripping in. Sometimes that can relieve a little pressure off the wrist. So as we come in to this tabletop position, we're gonna allow ourselves to bring in movement and to start to link breath. So we'll start with those cat-cows again. So take notice of how this feels opposed to when you were seated. So when you're ready, inhale, we'll draw the gaze up towards the ceiling, belly drops, tailbone lifts. Exhale, rounds in, tucking the chin in towards the chest as you press away. Inhale, lifting the gaze, belly drops, tailbone lifts. Exhale, rounds in. Inhale, lift. We'll move through 2 more full cycles. Once you finish that last cycle breath, come back through center. And then from here, we're going to take that right foot back behind us, and we're going to press our toes into the mat as we press through the heels. So just a little bit of a stretch here. And then we're going to take that right foot out to the side. Let the toes point towards the front of your mat. A little stretch through the side. And then lifting or just sending that right foot back behind the body and then bringing it back in. Rock a little from side to side. And then we'll extend the left foot back behind us, curling the toes, pressing through the heel. Inhale to lift, and then we're going to send that right or that left foot out to the side. Toes pointing towards the front of the mat. Just a little side hip stretch. Inhale, send it all the way back behind, and then draw in. We'll rock a little from side to side, maybe some circles. And then if it's available, we'll come into child's pose. So you can bring the big toes together. You can bring the knees towards the width of the mat, and then you'll sit back towards the heels. Doesn't matter if you make it towards the heels. Just find where you're comfortable. Walk the hands out in front of you, resting the forehead. Now, if child's pose you find is too intense on the hips or doesn't feel comfortable, you want to bring the knees closer in towards each other, and then you can find your way into puppy pose as you reach forward, down, and around. So sometimes puppy pose can be a little bit less on the hips, whatever's available to you. But if you chose to come to child's pose, you'll take a few cycles of breath here. Now again, an option in child's pose, which I really enjoy, to take a little bit off of the shoulders, is you can use your prop. So if you have a big bolster or any type of bolster, or pillow or something along those lines, you can bring it long ways on your mat, and then you'll bring it close in towards the hips, and then from here you'll drape yourself over, resting the temple, and then allowing the palms to face up if that's available. Also here, if you find that you're feeling too much lift in the hips and it doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring a block. So we'll have my imaginary block here, and then you can allow yourself to rest this way. This will bring a little bit more for your hips to kind of come down a little bit more. You can also allow the hands to sort of drape here, palms face up. So whatever you choose. We'll take a few cycles of breath here in child's pose, in whatever position feels comfortable to you. Notice your breath wherever you are. Your next inhale will slowly draw you back up into that tabletop position. And then from here, we're gonna find our way onto our belly. So we're gonna lower all the way down onto the belly. We're gonna allow our hands to come out in front of us as we rest the chin, rest the forehead on the mat. So I'm gonna come two different ways for you so you can kind of see different positions that my body is in case you are unaware or not familiar with where I'm going. So we'll come into, or we'll come onto our belly first. Option is your blanket can be underneath the hips, it can be along the mat, or it can be underneath the chest. It just depends on wherever you'd like it. I'm just gonna move it out of the way for now so we can just focus on where we're going. So as we come down onto our belly, we're just gonna take a few moments to scan the body. So just noticing where your body's making contact with the earth. So if you want to rock a little from side to side, curl the toes, drop the tops of the feet. You can have the arms out into T, resting the head on your mat. The arms can be up and overhead. Depends just wherever you want that sensation through the shoulders. So as we are here in this reclined pose, or as we're lying down, I invite you to scan the body. So inhale, drawing the inhale all the way up from the toes through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, send the breath all the way back down the body. Inhale draws the image of pulling the inhale through the toes all the way up through the body. And the exhale, sending it back down. Move through 2 more cycles of breath in, drawing up from the toes through the crown of the head. Exhale, send the breath back down. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, send it down. Now, if it's available, we'll come into a little bit of a back bend. If you have any pain or pinching, or if there's any issues with your low back here, you're going to want to be really mindful and maybe skip this step and just stay reclined on the earth. If it's okay, and it's within your practice, coming into Sphinx pose. So we'll bring our elbows so they're about underneath our shoulders. And then you'll bring the arms about shoulder width distance apart. Spread the palms, plant them in, coming in to that Sphinx pose. So as you come into this space, big compression through the back. So super mindful here. If you feel pain or pinching, you're going to want to lower all the way down, resting the head. If it's available, you'll stay here in that Sphinx pose. So as you come into Sphinx, soften the shoulders away from the ears, and then soften the low half of the body. So maybe you start at the feet, dropping the feet to sides, then through the thighs and the glutes. Now your gaze can be straight ahead. You can take the gaze up if you want a little bit through the throat, or you can drop the head in between the shoulders. Just depends on where you want to feel the sensation, where it feels comfortable for you. Feel the breath, checking in, noticing where you're feeling it. You feel the belly rise and fall or press into the earth. And then, if you'd like a little bit more, you can take the feet and bend into the knees, the soles of the feet so they're facing towards the ceiling. A little bit more compression here, so allowing whatever it is for you to feel okay. And then dropping the feet, and if you want to move further and it's within your practice, bringing your hands to about where your elbows were as you slowly lift up, coming into Cobra. So as you come into Cobra, soften, micro bend into the elbows, lift the gaze if that's available. If you want to feel that stretch all the way through the navel, through the chest, the throat. Soften the low half of the body. If this feels like too much, you want to slowly lower all the way down. One more breath if it's available. Exhale, lower all the way down.
Reach the arms up and overhead, take a full body stretch. Rotate the ankles, rock the knees from side to side. The next space that we're going to come into, or the next pose, will be half frog. So as we come into half frog, we're going to bend into the right knee. We're going to straighten through the left leg. So your right knee is about in line with your hip. Now, these are all just suggestions. You really just want to be mindful of how your body feels. So if it doesn't feel comfortable to have your knee all the way up in line with your hip, you can bring it down a little. So you'll bring it to where it's comfortable for you. The foot can be in towards the body, or it can start to come out. So if you want more sensation, maybe you're straightening that leg all the way out to the side. So whatever feels comfortable for you. You can also take that blanket and bring it underneath the knee for a little bit support or comfort. And then again, the arms. So the arms are going to be just again where you're comfortable. So if you want a little more through the shoulders, you can bring the arms up to T as you rest the forehead. The arms can be up and overhead. Or if there is a bind in your practice and you are safely able to move into it, you can take that. Some students in my classes take binds behind the back for their shoulders, so they just do whatever is most comfortable for them. So allow your hands to rest, softening through that low half of the body. Take a few moments here and just allowing that release. You're just softening through. Taking notice of where you're holding. And then see if you can let go. Maybe that exhale helps you to let go just a little further. Take 2 more full cycles of breath. And then slowly draw that right foot in to meet the left. And then bring in some movement. So rock a little from side to side. Maybe you bend into the knees. Maybe you want to come back into your Sphinx pose. Maybe just staying here in that gentle movement. Maybe you're making circles with the feet. And then when you're ready, we're going to move into that half frog on the opposite side. So bending into the knee, foot close in or further away, and then allow yourself to settle in. Notice your breath. Notice where your mind is. It's wandered onto any stories or conversations that you have had today or that you have yet to have. Gently bring it back here. Bring it back to your breath. Notice your connection to the earth where the body is making contact and noticing how you feel. Take 3 more full cycles of breath. Slowly draw that left foot back to meet the right. Here we bring in that movement again through the hips. Maybe you're back into that Sphinx pose. Take a few breaths here, maybe 3, with any kind of movement that serves you. And then when you're ready from here, option is we're going to make our way onto our back. So if you'd like to press back up into tabletop, or you'd like to shift back into a child's pose, or if you're ready, you can just find yourself all the way onto your back. So just taking your time to get to that space,
And bringing in any props that you might need for your practice. So if you like to have a blanket underneath the hips, bring that in onto your mat. If it serves you to have your strap nearby or your big bolster, whatever you'd like, bring that in and take a few more cycles of breath to make your way to your back. So however that is for you. And then once you make your way to your back, hug the knees in towards the chest. So as you hug the knees in, maybe the hands rest on the top of the knees, maybe they come around the shins, just depending on where your comfort level is. And then you'll start to bring some movement. So maybe rock a little from side to side, or maybe circles in one direction. And then the next pose that we will come to is going to be candlestick or legs up the wall. So if you'd like, you can use a wall as an assist here, or you can bring your strap in, bring it around the soles of the feet, and then inhale to draw the legs up and overhead. So your feet are flat towards the ceiling. If you don't have a strap or you're not using the strap, hands can come to the low back, or that blanket can come in for support, or if you'd like, you can use a bolster or a pillow, maybe something a little smaller than this one, but find where you're most comfortable. Allow the shoulders to keep connected to the earth if that's available. You can soften the knees here if you need. You can have a pretty big bend into the knees. Again, it's your practice. Feeling the connection, that low back. We'll take about 3 more cycles of breath here. Candlestick is a really great pose to come to the end of your practice, at the end of your day. Helps to calm the mind, the body. When you're ready, the exhale will slowly lower the heels to the mat. If you'd like, you can bend into the knees and lower them down that way. You can release the strap, lowering them all the way down. Or you can bend into the knees, softening here. Drop the strap to the side, maybe some movement, maybe the arms come out, or they come in, a new sort of circle, one direction and then the other. And then from here, we're going to find our way into a spinal twist. So we're gonna hug the knees in towards the chest. And then depending on what side you go to, I'll teach you towards the left first and then the right. So you'll just depend on where you want to go. It's your practice to find where it's important that you fall to. So if we're going to move to the left first, you can lift the hips and then shift them towards the right side of the mat, hug the knees in, and then drop them over towards the left. From here, you can bring the arms out. My strap's coming with us. You can bring the arms out, bringing the palms together if that happens. If they don't meet, that's okay. Really tight shoulders here, so it doesn't always happen for me. Inhale to draw the arms open to T. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, open. Then allow yourself to settle into your twist. So there's lots of ways that you can come into your spinal twist. You can keep the knees stacked. You can bring a block or a blanket in between the knees. You can start to straighten through that top leg. You can bring the sole of that top foot to the earth. It's a little more of a figure 4, sort of a falling pigeon. Hand can come to the foot. And then you can draw the arms out, or they can be out to T. If it's available, you can take your gaze over the opposite shoulder, just depending on where you find most comfort. So from here, just depending on what you like, how you like to take your twist, you'll just slowly start to settle in. Twists are
are so important for the body in so many ways. They're so good for restoring equilibrium back into your nervous system, for releasing tension from the spine. And I had a really wonderful teacher tell me one time about how our bodies store emotion. So every time that our body doesn't release an emotion, whether we're at the movies or we're somewhere where we hold in a cry or we hold in a laugh, our bodies store that somewhere inward, whether it's our hips, whether it's our shoulders, our neck, our spine. So as we come into these positions here, as we come into these twists, we allow our body to release. So really softening, letting go of anything that we're holding. And maybe right now we're holding a lot. So see if as you come to each exhale, you can let that go. You can soften just a little more. We'll take 2 more full cycles of breath. Unless you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, and I invite you to take 5 cycles of breath. When you're ready to move out of this, you can remove props. You can slowly start to draw the knees back in towards center. So bringing in movement in between your twist is so important to allow the benefits of that twist to move through the body. So even if it's just rocking the knees or circling the knees from side to side, maybe coming into happy baby, where you bind the big toes or around the sides of the feet, bringing the knees towards the ribs or towards the armpits as you open out into sort of a U shape here. You can come back into that candlestick. You can just rock from side to side or take a full body stretch, whatever feels good. We'll take about 2 more cycles of breath with whatever movement serves you. And then when you're ready, we're going to find our way to our twist on the other side. So option is you can drop the hips over towards the left, bring the knees in, and then drop them over towards the right. You can bring that blanket in. Bring the arms out to T. Gaze can go over the opposite shoulder. You can extend through your top leg. Wherever you're finding most comfort, come into your twist. And settle in. Allow that release. Allow that softening through. Take about 3 more cycles of breath, or if you like to stay here a little longer, find 5 cycles of breath. When you're ready, you'll inhale to draw the knees back in towards center, and then bring in movement. Anything that feels good here. And when you're ready, if it's available, we're going to come into a reclined butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall open. And then again, support from blocks under the knees, or you can bring blankets. You can bring your feet wide, further away from the body, or they can be closer in. Wherever you choose, just take a moment here, just before we find our way to our final rest. Hands can rest on the belly, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, maybe both hands are on the earth for grounding. Wherever you choose, take a moment and draw yourself inward. Let go of any of those outward distractions.
the belly rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. If you find that this is too much on the hips, bring the feet to the width of the mat and then draw the knees in towards each other. We'll take about 5 more cycles of breath. Maybe they're cleansing breath because you need to let go here. Whatever serves you. The outside of the knees, draw them in towards each other, rock a little from side to side. From here, we're going to find our way to our final rest. So we're going to come into our Shavasana in any way that feels good to you. So we're going to come into Shavasana anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So it just depends on how long that you want to take your rest. Shavasana is incredibly important for your practice, so really mindful here. I'm going to come into a couple options of ways you can take your Shavasana, and then if you'd like to pause the video, giving yourself maybe about 5 minutes, setting a timer so that you can really allow yourself to settle in, and then unpause the video and we'll come to our closing. So options on that reclined butterfly. You can bring a little bit more support here by bringing your big bolster and then allowing yourself to drape over the bolster, opening up through the heart space. The feet can be together as the knees fall open, or the legs can be out long, just depending on what feels comfortable. If you want more heart opener, if you want a little support for the low back, the big bolster can go underneath the knees for support, and then you can find your way down. You can also bring your blanket underneath the head and then allow the arms to fall or to be on the belly. Wherever you choose, start to let your breath fall back to its natural rhythm. No more controlling the breath. Allow yourself to slowly melt into the mat. Softening here, letting go of anything else that you're holding through the body. And then allow yourself to take rest. Taking your Shavasana 5 to 7 to 10 minutes, pausing here. And then I will meet you back on your mat. So as you make your way out of your Shavasana, you can start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. You can rock the head from side to side. You can bring the knees in towards the chest and rock a little from side to side. Slowly start to move the props away. Allow yourself to awaken or come out of your Shavasana in any way that serves you. You can find your way to a fetal pose, pausing for another moment. And then from here, press yourself up to any comfortable seated position on your mat. Allow your hands to rest on the tops of the knees, or you can draw the hands together at heart center. Wherever you choose, take a moment to bow in. Take a moment to send gratitude inward to yourself. Your practice is so important no matter where it is. So taking time out of your day to honor that, to honor yourself. I'm so grateful that you joined me today and that you're here connecting in whatever way we can. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and that we connect again soon. I honor that place in you that is the same in me. I honor that place in you where the whole universe resides. I honor that place in you of love, of light, of peace, and of truth. I honor that place in you that is the same in me. Namaste. Thank you, friends. I'll see you again soon. Until then, be well.